that was a cracking story I read today, folks. Don't know if you've read it. In the late 90s, I think David Bowie and his manager went up to Manchester. Is it up or down? Wait a minute. Down to Manchester. Up to Manchester, London, Manchester, of course. Went up to what am I talking about? I know that's what you're thinking. Anyway, went up to Manchester to be on, is it the Mark and Lard show on Radio 2? They were being interviewed there, well, Bowie was. Anyway, they said over the course of the 2 or 3 hours, he got a bit bored. And there was I'm getting it all wrong here today, folks. There was a traffic segment coming up, and Bowie said, "Do you mind if I read it out?" They said, "What? Can I read it out?" They said, "Yeah, if you want to." Anyway, he proceeded to read the traffic segment out on 2 or 3 occasions during the course of the show. And nobody knew it was him. How would they not know it? He must have put on a voice or something, that's all I can believe. But not a soul knew it was him. I thought that was a rather funny story. It was also said in the same piece, he said, yeah, when he used to go to his record producers in London, what he'd do, he'd often get out on the streets himself and he'd try to put on some kind of little kind of disguise, and you think to yourself, well, you'd know it was Bowie, surely, especially if he was dressed as Ziggy Stardust. But anyway, I'm making that part up. They said, no, he'd carry a paper underneath his arm. It'd be a Greek paper, but he'd make sure people could see it was Greek, and they'd think, is that Bowie? And they'd look at the paper and think, oh no, he's Greek, that fella, it won't be Bowie, he won't be able to read that. So nobody admired him. And I thought that was a strange one as well. But as I say, had he gone as Ziggy or one of his other creations, Aladdin saying, we'd have known, wouldn't we? We'd have known, mind you, everyone in the streets would have known if he'd have walked around looking like that. He would have stood out like a sore thumb, wouldn't he? But no, I thought the reading the weather, I keep saying weather, reading the traffic news, I thought it was a belter. Never had anyone taken on that before. I thought that was pretty strange. And they said none of the listeners knew, which is even stranger. He must have put on a voice, surely. Must have done. Anyway, I'll leave you with that.